Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Market Podcast. It is Monday, June the 16th, 2025. Stock market has been closed for about 50 minutes. I'm a little bit behind where I want to be. I try as often as possible to get this podcast done and on the website, posted online by 2:30 my time. It's about 2:50 my time. So let's just jump right in and review what the market did briefly, and then I'll talk about new trades and some things going on for this week. So we've got, let's see, I need to make sure I get you the right screen I want to share here. Okay, there we go. So we had a good day in the stock market, a nice rebound. Not a full rebound, but a nice rebound from that very ugly sell-off that we experienced on Friday. If you remember, and I'm sure you do, Friday, with the Israel launching strikes into Iran, and then Iran launching back at Israel, we had what felt like a pretty big dip, especially considering where the market had finished the day before. When all was said and done, when you look at this chart, it doesn't look that massive. Probably looks a little bit bigger on the Dow, because the Dow, I think, took a double whammy with Boeing getting hit with that Air India flight. But things came back quite a bit today. Not a perfect comeback, not a full comeback, but a nice comeback. And I think there's two primary reasons why things came back. Number one, the price of oil was dropping a little bit today. I think a lot of people recognized and realized that we're not as dependent on Iranian oil as we may have been a decade or two ago. There is enough oil supply in different parts of the world and in different countries, the U.S. included, that Iran's lack of oil production is, not going to hurt us in the long run. Maybe a real short-term hurt, but nothing long-term. That's number one. Number two, you can see on this headline right here, hopes that the Israel-Iran conflict will be contained. Notice this doesn't say that it will end or that it will be over or that it is over, or it says that it will be contained. I'm just going to give you my interpretation of that. Major U.S. investors, and I would even go so far as to say most U.S. investors, don't care that much about what's going on between Israel and Iran as long as it does not spill over into direct involvement by the United States. Now, indirect involvement, I think people don't care. I think people largely look and say, look, if we're providing Israel with weapons, if we're helping them shoot down a few missiles, and we don't get any more involved than that, then we're okay. I think that's kind of the attitude. And as long as we don't get more involved in that, then there's very little chance that it spills over into something that starts costing us money in terms of taxpayer dollars, starts costing us, blood and treasure in terms of soldiers going over there and fighting. We do have soldiers over there that are operating some of these anti-missile batteries. Some of the stuff we sold to Israel, we're actually over there with our soldiers training them on it. And as a result, that means we've got some boots on the ground, but we don't have boots on the ground in live combat roles. We don't have our U.S. Air Force personnel flying these missions. We don't have our special forces on the ground operating drone strikes from inside Iranian territory. And I think a lot of people figure as long as that doesn't happen, then let it play out, keep our involvement limited to the supply of some weapons and maybe a little bit of logistical stuff, and no more than that. And that's kind of where I think the market got a boost, because everything else going on in terms of economic news and from an economic standpoint causes people to want to be bullish. We just had that stumble on Friday, because it's scary when two big countries and two countries that you have very unique, very different relationships with are suddenly lobbing missiles and bombs at each other. I mean, that's a frightening thing. And let's face it, the United States has a century-long history now of getting involved in world conflicts, some that we absolutely unequivocally should have been involved in, and some that maybe we should have been less involved in or not involved in at all. So, you've got those two things going on, and as a result, you had a nice move up in the markets today, and we'll take it. As the rest of this week unfolds, a couple of things of note. Number one, today's the 16th, Thursday the 19th, the Juneteenth holiday. You see this big blank space right here as far as economic reports. The stock market will be closed on Thursday. So no podcast, nothing going on Thursday. Take the day off, enjoy it, relax. But one other thing that is going to be a little bit different is tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. my time, I am hitting the road. I am driving a few hours south of my home in northern Utah, driving down to my home in southern Utah, where I will be the rest of the week. I will do a podcast tomorrow morning, but instead of doing it a half an hour after the market opens, I will probably do it about an hour and a half to 2 hours after the market opens, probably 9:30 or 10 o'clock Mountain Time. I'm just basing that on when I will get down there and having a chance to just get my computer and my office set up down there. I kind of travel. I take a little travel office down there with my laptop and a couple of monitors. What I will do is, with about 15 minutes before I'm going to start tomorrow morning, I will send out a message on Discord, both on the Spread Trade and the Triple Play channel, and let everyone know that I'm 10, 15 minutes away from starting. And then if you're online at that time, you want to join me live, great. If not, I'll do a short podcast and then I'll post it onto the website so that you can watch the recording later on. So got that housekeeping out of the way. Let's switch gears back to our open trade. So I sent out a new trade today on Amazon. Now, hopefully you were watching Discord this morning, because we closed our open Amazon trade. The one that we opened back on, what day did we open that? Back on the 2nd of this month, so just a couple weeks ago. We ended up coming up a little bit shy of 20%, but I felt the timing was good to get out of that trade, and it opened the door to add a new trade for tomorrow morning. Very similar trade, a bull call calendar with a little farther out long options, 1/16/2026, and the short options, 8/15/2025, and we're doing a $10 spread between them. If you look at a chart of Amazon right now, I think Amazon is more likely than not going to match its highs up here in this neighborhood of 240 to 242. But I think it's going to continue this sort of slow path there. I don't think you're going to see a surge up over 2 or 3 weeks where it jumps from, I think it finished today at 216 and some change. I don't think you're going to see it jump from 216 to 235 in a week or 2 weeks. I'm not saying that couldn't happen. I just don't think it will. I think it'll take 3 to 4 weeks for it to gradually get up in that neighborhood of 230. And by that time, I think a lot of time value will have disappeared from the short option, and the long option will have gone up in value. And I think it'll make for an easy exit. But I anticipate being in this trade, instead of I like most of the spread trades I open up, I like them to be a 2-week trade or less. And then I love it when it's even less than 2 weeks. This is one that I'm getting into, kind of anticipating a 5, maybe 6-week trade, 4, 5, 6 weeks, somewhere in that area. So, get into this one with the anticipation that we'll be in it for a little while. And then all of us, if we see it all of a sudden surge up in the price of the stock, and 3 days from now, 5 days from now, we can jump out with 15%, I'll take it. I'll take it and get out. And I'll let everybody know if we decide to do that. So plan on being in this one just a little bit longer, but that's the new trade for this week for our spread trades. Let me shift gears to our triple play stuff. This morning on Discord, I sent out a Meta in the money bull call spread, and I sent out an AMD calendar, bull call calendar. Shortly after sending those out and getting filled instantly on each one of them, we saw things start to move up sharply and dramatically. And within probably 10 minutes of the time I sent it out, I was able to get half my target profit on the Meta trade, and I exited it. And then the same thing happened with the AMD trade, although this is wrong. I need to go in and put in accurate prices. I think that's off a little bit. I think this reflects the closing prices at the end of the day today, not where I got filled. But I got filled and got out of AMD at about, I don't know what, this says 11% right here. And for some reason over here, well, that's the old AMD trade. This is the new one. Okay, yeah, these have got to be prices from before. I didn't get out with 34%, I promise you. I got out with about a 10% return. I was targeting 20, got out with about a 10% return. I'll fix that so it's accurate. But what that ended up doing was giving us two trades that were opened and closed right on top of each other. Both of them closed, nice little profit on each one. And then after that, I sent out a new AMD trade, same basic trade, but different strike prices. Instead of 125, 130, it was the 130, 135. So in and out really fast. I'm not normally a day trader, but a gift, opening a trade and then getting half or more of your target profit when you've been in the trade literally 15 or 20 minutes, that's just a gift that I can't pass up. I just went ahead and took that and jumped out, and I'm ecstatic about it. Like I said, I'll fix this one because I know the numbers are off a little bit. We didn't. I promise we didn't make as much as 35% on that AMD trade we were in for a short period of time, but we did really well with the trade in a very short period of time. So very happy about where we ended up. So I'll fix this, but right now we've got our diamond trade from last week that is not looking real great. One of the first trades we've been in for a little while that's not looking real great. I am working on an adjustment for this one. However, it may not need it if we start out tomorrow moving back to the upside. We might see enough movement to the upside tomorrow morning that we'll leave it alone and let it see if it can go another day and keep moving up. Then we wouldn't have to adjust it at all. If we wobble tomorrow, or if during the day tomorrow it slides a little bit, or if we open to the downside and it's coming down tomorrow, I will make an adjustment immediately and send it out on Discord for this trade. For right now, leave it alone. We'll take care of it tomorrow and should be in great shape. And then hopefully you're already in the new AMD trade with those different strike prices. I am. I'm putting together a PDF to send everybody on that tonight. If you didn't get into it today because you didn't see it on Discord, try the exact same trade tomorrow morning. I think you'll still be able to get in at the strike prices and the limit order that we wanted to get in at. Let's shift gears now to collar trades. I was on the verge of making an adjustment to SoFi, and then I held off because we were selling off so much on Friday. I just put a pause on that. I'll probably work on an adjustment for it this week, and then I think everything else we have open in the way of our collar trades are in a really good spot right now. And I was going to add a new collar trade or two on Friday, and then we started, with the market selling off because of the Israel-Iran stuff, and I held off on doing it. Sometime this week, probably before the close of the market Wednesday, I'm going to send out at least one, if not two additional collar trades. So for those of you that have some cash on the side and you're anxious to get in some more collar trades, be patient for just another day or two, and we'll have something for you. And otherwise, I think we're looking phenomenal. Look at this net return where we're at year to date on our spread trades. I recognize that a large part of this is in Palantir, which is technically a trade that we opened last year and left open going into this year. If we were not counting Palantir for this year, we could add it to what our profit was last year, and it would make last year look much more spectacular. Since it's still an open trade, I'm counting it for this year. But even if you took out this Palantir trade, you realize less than halfway through the year, we are still up over 90%. And just off to a phenomenal start, even with CrowdStrike and Walmart being down a little bit. And by the way, I did send out an adjustment to Walmart, so you should have that for tomorrow morning. But even with Walmart and CrowdStrike being down a little bit, we are just doing absolutely phenomenal right now with our spread trade portfolio. So I'm ecstatic about that. Our collar trades are very solid, and triple play is actually having a little bit better return than the regular spread trades if you took out the Palantir trade. And so Triple Play, I believe right now at the close of things today, I believe Triple Play we're up over 110%, 121% at the close of today's market. So doing phenomenal on these portfolios. I hope in addition to profiting from this yourself, go out and tell some of your friends that you know trade some of their own money, even if it's a small amount. If they're trading some of their own money, tell them what we're doing. Say, you've got to check this out. This is phenomenal. Realize the more people put on the same trades that we do, the more we start to have an ability as an organization to kind of drive things in a certain direction. The more people that are doing a bullish trade on a certain company, the more people see the open interest and see the volume and want to follow along. And it can actually, without doing anything illegal, without doing anything manipulative, we can actually drive prices on companies in the direction that we prefer it goes, just with collective volume on what we're doing. So it's all on the up and up. We're just letting you know what we're trading, and you're deciding if you want to trade it with us or not. And we can increase our chances and improve our chances of profiting. So make sure you spread the word. Tell people, tell them to listen to our podcast and give it a like and give it a thumbs up, even if they don't want to join the program. All of that helps build things and helps move things along for us. And it actually helps you in the long run. So, all right, I'm going to wrap up right there. Don't forget, tomorrow I will not be live at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. It'll be sometime between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and I'll give a heads up on Discord when I'm ready to do that. And in the meantime, hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great Father's Day for all you dads out there, and hope you have a great rest of your day today. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.